Hello, everybody. So, today in this topic about Excel, we're first going to talk about the way to format the content of a cell when it comes to the value or the numbers. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create this new Excel file. And right here on the top cell, we're going to introduce the following header. We're going to say type of content, okay, the type of content. And here we're going to introduce the data. What I like to do here is to change everything into bold just to identify that this is the data that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to talk about a series of different types of data, as it says here, types of content. So in the first one, we're going to talk about general. Okay, the generic type or the general type of data. So in this case, if you insert any kind of number, okay, whatever it is, any kind of number, it's going to consider it just normal data. Nothing really that different other than what it is. Just the type of content is going to be just normal data, and we could change the type of content here. So as you can see, it's considered general, the number format or the type of content, and we're going to leave it as it is because it's just a general. In the second one, we're going to insert something in the format of number. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to insert a number, okay, whatever the case might be, and we're going to open this menu right here, and we're going to click on this option where it says number. What it's going to do is that it's going to add two zeros after the dot or after the decimal point. Now, one important thing that I would like to do in this case is to right-click it and right here click on Format Cells, and it's going to give you additional options specifically for number. Now, here in number, you could see that one of the things that you can do is that you can increase the zeros after the decimal point, or you can decrease them into zero, absolute zero. We're going to leave it at 2, which is the standard. The other thing that's pretty interesting is that you can click here and use the 1000 separator, which is the comma after 3 digits, right? Now, another cool option that you have here is for the negative numbers. Now, you have different options for the negative numbers. It could be the minus before, it could be red numbers, it could be between parentheses or between parentheses and red numbers. So let's see what this does. Now, as you can see, it put the comma right here, which is something that we wanted. Now, another thing that's interesting is that right here, you're going to see the result of the cell, okay? And up here, you can see the content in this line. Another way of looking at the content is by double-clicking this button here or this cell here, and you're going to see the true content, excuse me. So right here, you click on the minus, and it's minus 4,321. And if you go here again to Format Cells, and when this menu opens, you can click on this one, for example, and what's going to happen is that it's not going to display the minus. It's rather going to turn them into red numbers like this. Okay, the minus still exists. If you double click it, you're going to see that the minus is there, but it's just displaying it in a different way, right? So again, if you go here to Format Cells, you're going to notice that you also have these options like between parentheses and between parentheses, but in red. So if you click on it, it's going to show it like this. And again, this means minus. If you take away the minus, then it's going to go back to its original form because that's the standard display of these kind of numbers. Okay, so we're going to leave it like this, in red between parentheses. The next one I would like to talk about is currency. Okay, for the currency, of course, if you insert any kind of number, I'm going to insert something in the thousands. So for example, 67,543. Now again, we're going to use this drop down menu, and you're going to see here that it has currency. Now mine is configured to show pounds. I'm not sure why it's in pounds, but that's the default. If you want to change it to something else, you're going to right click it, okay, Format Cells again, and it's going to give you a bunch of options for different currencies. The decimal spaces, of course, for cents or pennies or pence, like in the case of the British pound. But you can also open this up, the symbol drop-down menu, and you're going to see a very large amount of different types of currencies from around the world. Okay, they come from the abbreviation of the currency in different formats all the way up to the proper symbol of the currency. Like in this case, you know, the Turkish, I'm not sure what the Turkish currency is, or the Russian ruble, I think it is. I think that's what it's called. Forgive me if it's not. There's even Bitcoin here. You can turn it into Bitcoin. You can turn it into euros. You can turn it into pounds, yen, etc. In this case, we're going to use English United States right here for the US dollar. If you click on it, it's going to change the format into the US dollar like this, right? So it's not British pounds anymore, but rather US dollars. And of course, you can expand it into a few other things. You could say, for example, Spanish Mexico for the Mexican peso, and you click on it, and it looks just like the US dollar because it's basically the same symbol. Okay, but you can turn it into almost any currency that exists on the planet. There's quite a few options. In the next one that we're going to talk about a short date. Okay. Now, where I'm from, the date usually starts with the number of the day, followed by the number of the month, followed by the year, separated by a diagonal or by a slash. For example, we could say the 27th slash of February of month number 2 of, okay? Let's say it's 2018, right? And if we click on it, we're going to see that the format automatically changes. Now, I want you to observe something. As you can see, the alignment, all of these numbers are actually to the right side of the cell. And the texts are automatically to the left side of the cell, which is pretty interesting. By default, Excel, when you insert a text and you hit enter, if it's a text, is going to align to the left by default. If it's a number, it's going to align to the right. If the cell considers that the content of this is not a number, but rather a text or any other type of character, it's going to align it over to the right. To the left. Let's observe this. So, for example, this is the second month. If we expand it all the way up to the 12th month, the 12th month does exist. But if in this case we add something like the 13th month, which doesn't exist in our calendar anyways, you hit enter and it's going to align it back over to the left for the reason I just explained. It doesn't consider this to be a valid number. It considers it to be a text, okay? Which tends to be a little bit confusing sometimes if you don't know exactly what it is. So let's go back to February, the 27th of February. Also, February does not have, it has 28 days in most years. In some years, it has 29 days, excuse me. But in 2018, the 29th day in February didn't exist. So if you click on it, it doesn't consider it a valid date because that day never existed, not in 2018 anyways. So we put a valid date, the 27th of February. We hit it. We click enter, and it's going to align it back to the right. Okay, there's another thing called the long date. Now I'm just going to copy this thing. I'm going to copy it down here. There we go. In the case of the long date, it's pretty cool because what it's going to do is that if you insert the long date, what it's going to do is going to insert the day of the week that the 27th of February was or will be if it's a future date. Okay, then Tuesday, 27 February 2018. And of course, you have a bunch of other options. You right-click it, you go here to Format Cells again, and you're going to have this pop-up window that's going to come up. Now, this Wednesday, 14th of March 2012, of course, you have all of these other options. Okay, this is English United Kingdom, but I'm in the US, so I'm not in the US, but if I were, these would be the options, right? It has a bunch of different options. And for example, if you are live in a Spanish-speaking country, you can go down to the Spanish options. Okay, in my case, for example, Spanish Mexico, you hit it like this and it's going to give us these options in Spanish. Instead of Wednesday, it says miércoles in Spanish, miércoles 14 de marzo de 2012, right? So you have the option of doing it in Spanish or in English or in whatever language you want. In my case, okay, for the purpose of this class, we're going to leave it in English United Kingdom. So we're going to choose this one, Wednesday, the 14th of March, 2012, but we don't have this content. We have Tuesday, the 27th of February, 2018. So we're going to click on that, and this is the format that appears. Now, remember that this is not the content. This is just the display or the result of the cell. If we double-click it, it's going to show us the original content. Let's say that I want a completely different date. I want the 30th of March of 2019. Let's see what it gives us. It says that the 30th of March in 2019 was a Saturday. Okay, so it basically gives you, or you can even go into something in the future. Let's say that I want to go to 2035, right? So the 30th of March in 2035 is going to be a Friday, which is really interesting. Okay, so again, let's do the 30th of March 2019. Again, this was a Saturday. The next part is time. Now, the time is a pretty easy format to do. We're always going to do it in the format that we usually would. Let's say that it's 3. Then we hit a colon, one dot over the other. This is called a colon, excuse me, not a colon. That was strange. 3:40 in the afternoon. So we hit the PM, we hit enter, and automatically the cell thinks that this is time. If we double click it, this is the real content, and it's going to do that automatically. Okay? Now this is also pretty cool. If we right click on it and we go to format cells, we're going to see that we have a bunch of other options as well for time. Now you can modify the time here. You can do that. Or you can just go ahead and look at something that you like. Okay, you have all of these really weird options that you can also include in that. Okay, but let's say that I don't want it like this. I want it to be AM or PM, but in capital letters. You can also do that. AM or PM. There we go. If you hit on that and you click OK, it's automatically going to leave it the same way. That didn't come out the way I was expecting. It's going to do it by default in lower caps. But this is with the custom case. If we go here to time, it's also going to give us the formats for a specific area around the planet. Okay, let's say that we do it in Spanish Mexico again. Okay, it gives you just these options. I don't really like them because the P and the M don't look the way I want them to. It's P dot space M dot. I don't like the way it looks. So let's look for another one. Again, let's go into English United States. Maybe I'm more familiar with that and it's easier to see. And it gives you these type of options. 1:30, okay, and PM with a capital letter. I like that one. That one's probably my favorite one. So let's hit OK. And now it's 3:40 PM. But if we double click in it, it's going to show us in military time, 1540. Okay, so let's change this, for example, to 21:37, for example. 21:37, that's 9:37 in the evening, so that's 9:37 p.m. Okay, and that's the way you do it with time. In the case, for example, of percentage, which is the next type of number, okay, in the case of the percentage, remember that to consider a percentage, you have to talk about the fraction or a part of a whole, of a unit, right? So, for example, if we hit, let's say, 1, number 1, 1 is 100%. We click here on the percentage down here, and it's going to show the 100%. So, for example, what is 80% of this number? Let's see. Let's look at it like this. Okay, let's put 0.8. Right there, 0.8. That should be 80% because it's 0.8 of 1. So if you hit on this, we're going to see the 80%. Okay, or the 55%. Now you can modify it into whatever you want. Okay, now for the formats that you have also a couple of options that you can talk about. The only real option that you have for the percentage is the amount of decimal places. Let's say you want 1 or 0, or maybe you want a bunch more. Let's say 8 zeros after the dot. Maybe I just want 1. There it is. So I'm going to leave it at 1. I'm going to hit OK, and it's automatically going to adjust. The next part that I found really interesting, I've never really used this, is the fraction. Now, the fraction is also pretty cool. Let's say that the fraction, we have a 0.35. Okay, 0.35 right there, but we go and hit the fraction, and it's going to give it to us in 1 over whatever it is. 135 is approximately 1/3. Okay, so if we go like this, 0.5, and we hit enter, it's 1/2. If we say 1.5, it's 1 and 1/2, which is really interesting. Or 1.75, it's 1 3/4. Okay, and it's automatically going to give it to us. The next one is the scientific types of numbers. Now, for the scientific, if you add any number, let's say that I'm going to put 100, and we go here and select the option of the scientific, it's going to be 1.00, okay, with the exponential of 2, like this, okay, which means that it's basically 1 and 2 zeros. So 1 and 2 zeros is the same thing as 100. Now, usually this type of numbering is used when we have a really big number. Okay, like let's say that we have something like this. This is a very big number right there. We hit enter. It says that it's 5.35 exponentially to the 13th. It's zeros after the dot to say it in one quick way. And right here, you show the decimal places. Let's say that I want more decimal places. And of course, it's going to show you a bunch more information that's already in there. Okay, but that depends entirely on you and the way that you would want to do it. Now, this is for the format of the numbers, number format. Okay, now what if we want to do basic arithmetic? This is also pretty cool. Basic arithmetic like this. Okay, so I'm going to increase the percentage of this thing again. Let's go over all the way up to 220. I think should be a good zoom to be looking at this. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in operation. Okay, then we're going to put a few columns of data. Data 1, data 2, and the result. Okay, now in the case of data 1, okay, we're going to insert just basically a number. Okay, so we have a sum, we have a subtraction, we have a multiplication, okay, and then we have a division. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to have the result here. So data 1, we're just going to put a random number. Okay, 4 and 7. So what you're going to do, this is the first time we talk about formulas. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the equal. The equal means that you are starting an equation. Okay, you're starting an equation. In this case, we're starting an arithmetic operation. So what you're going to do, I'm going to show you this version. You hit on this cell right here, and then you hit the plus, and then you hit the other cell, right? So it's B2 plus C2, and 4 plus 7 equals 11. So if you hit enter, you're going to see the result, which is the 11. If you double click it, you're going to see the formula. Okay, so obviously if you modify this, if I instead of a 4, I put a 5, 5 and 7 is 12, right? Or if you put a really big number, 56,456, and you hit it, and of course, this one plus this one equals this one, right? Quite simple. All right, for the subtraction, it's the same thing. If you hit on a number and then put another number like this, so you're going to take this one, you're going to put the minus. So again, let's do this again. Equal, click on this, minus, click on this one. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. Now, what's pretty cool is that if we do a number like this, 8, let's say that we have here a 4, and over here we have, a 5. So 4 minus 5 equals minus 1, which is correct. Okay, so far so good. Let's do a multiplication. Again, a couple of numbers like this. We click on equal, we hit the cell, we push the asterisk. The asterisk is the multiplication in Excel. Then you hit the other cell. So B4 times C4 equals 21. Okay, and finally for the division, you're going to grab a number. Okay, a second number, and you're going to divide them. How do you do that? You hit on the equal, you hit the first cell, you hit a slash or a diagonal, whatever you want to call it, and then divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is supposed to be 4. Then we are correct. Okay, very good. So if we are correct, we're on the right track. Okay, for the next one, we're going to do the operation combination. Now, this sounds funny, but it's true. That's what we're going to do. An operation combination. Let's zoom in again over here to 220. Let's see, 220. There we go. So for an operation combination, we're going to start with the combination of a sum and a subtraction. Okay, so we're going to put the operations here. Operations. Okay, and for this one, we're going to put more data in. Data 1. Data 1. Okay, and this is the cool part. If you expand it here, it's going to put data 2, data 3, data 4, and data 5. There we go. And for this one, we're going to put the results. That's pretty cool. Okay, we're going to bold these up. Again, there we go. So for this one, adding and subtracting. So we're going to put a plus, comma, minus. That's what it's going to be. Now, Excel is going to think that it's a formula. It's telling me this is a formula. It's really strange. So I hit OK, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct it. I'm going to make Excel think that this is a text. So I'm going to hit an apostrophe. And now by putting an apostrophe before the supposed app operation, it's going to think that it's text. So I hit it, and it's not going to bother me anymore because it thinks it's a text. Another thing that you could do is that I'm going to erase this. There we go. I'm going to erase this. What you can do is you can open this up, hit text, and now it thinks that it's a text. Now it doesn't think it's anything else, but it automatically did the apostrophe. There we go. So for data 1, we're going to just put 4 random numbers, okay? So what's going to happen, you're going to hit the equal, okay? You're going to go this one plus this one. Okay, so we have the sum of B2 and C2, as you can see here, right? And then you have, you're going to separate these by parentheses. Okay, you're going to separate them by parentheses, and you're going to hit a minus because you're putting a subtraction. You're going to open parentheses again, select this one, okay, plus, and then you're going to select this one. You're going to close parentheses, and now, in theory, we should be 3 plus 8 is 11. 5 plus 2 is 7. 11 minus 7 is 4. Let's see if it's true. There we go. Okay, so we added, again, B2 plus C2, these two. And then D2 plus E2, these two right here, and then we subtract them. Very good. So we're doing so far so good. In the next one, we're going to talk about the adding and multiplying. Okay? So again, a bunch of data. Let's choose a bunch of data right here. There we go. And we're going to multiply them. So this one multiplied by, excuse me, no, wait. I am incorrect. We're going to add this one like this. Okay, so we've got 11 again. That's the first thing that we're going to do, right? And if we double click on this, we're going to close the parentheses, just like in the previous one. Then we're going to multiply. Then we're going to open parentheses. We're going to hit D3 plus E3. And we're going to hit enter. There we go. So these two multiplied by these two, we get 77. So 8 plus 3 equals 11. 2 plus 5 equals 7. 7 times 11 equals 77. Very good. For the next one, we're going to do adding, subtracting, and multiplying. All right, let's see what we can come up with for this one. So what we're going to do, now we're going to open several levels of parentheses. Okay, so we're going to put a couple of numbers like this. Okay, now we have data all the way up to data 5. Okay, so here we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to add a couple of these, subtract them, and then multiply them. Okay, so just like in the previous one, open parentheses. This one plus this one, close parentheses, minus, open parentheses, this one, plus this one, close parentheses. What do we have? Minus 3, but we still need to multiply. We haven't multiplied. So what you're going to do, we're going to open a second level of parentheses. Open parentheses, and then all the way to the end, close parentheses. Then you're going to hit asterisk, and you're going to multiply by this one. So what's going to happen is that this multiplication is going to affect everything in the black parentheses. You see one parentheses here, and you see another parentheses here, which means that they are connected. In this case, you see the red ones. They are at that level. Okay, they are at an underneath level, and the black one is all the way up to the top. So if we hit enter here, you're going to see that it's minus 12. That result is correct. And in the final one, we're going to go plus, minus, multiplication, and then finally division. Okay, that's what this is. Let me put the apostrophe at the beginning. There we go. So a bunch of data. Again, let's see. It's always 3, 4. Let's do something different. I'm just going all over the place. Okay, very good. So this is what we're going to do. Again, we're going to be opening different levels of parentheses. That's what's going to make it interesting. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Equals, open parentheses, this one, plus this one, close parentheses, minus this one. Okay, so again, B5 plus C5, close parentheses, minus D5. Okay, now all of this is going to get more interesting. We're going to open another parentheses, open another one, go all the way to the end, open that other one, and now we're going to multiply. Multiply by this one. Okay, so we have all levels like this. Okay, but it's not enough. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this. Good. Then I'm going to open another parentheses. Okay, open another one like this. And then we're going to divide by this one. Let's see what we get. Let's hit enter. It's a 2.4. So how do we do that? We're going to add B2 plus C5. Okay, let's do this in a calculator. Okay, let's see what we find. Okay, so in theory, this is what we're going to do. So B5 plus C5. So 9. Let's see if we do anything wrong. 9 plus 4 equals 13. Okay, 13 minus 7. 6 multiplied by 2. 12. Okay, divided by 5. 2.4. What did we get over here? 2.4. Very good. And finally, the last thing that we're going to talk about today is we're going to create an event that's going to show us if we understand everything so far. Okay, so let's open this up all the way up to 200% so you guys can see it, because these letters are too small. Okay, so we're going to do an event. We're going to create an event for 5 days. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off with a date. Okay, I'm going to bold this up. We're going to start it with a date. Okay, we're going to talk about the start. We're going to talk about the end. Okay, right? The time and the day. So we're going to start with a date. Let's say that we have the 4th of June of 2020, for example. Okay, but I want the long date. So we're going to click here on oh, it doesn't give me the long date, but it's okay. Let's look at it from here, from the format cells. It's going to give us a bunch of options, and I want to use this one, the one that says Wednesday. Okay, the 14th. I want it to start on a Wednesday. Let's go for the 3rd of June. There we go. We're starting on a Wednesday. Okay, and if we drag this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to do this for 5 days. Okay, the event this day starts at 8 a.m. Okay, and it ends at 12 p.m. Okay. Simple enough. Okay, the next day, the event starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. Okay, the next day, it starts also at 8 a.m., but it ends at 3 p.m. This is the 15th hour, so 3 p.m. In the next one, it starts at 10:30 in the morning on Saturday, and it ends at 5:30 in the afternoon. Okay? 5:30. Let's do 30 just to keep it round numbers. And in this one, it opens on Sunday at 10 a.m. and it closes at 2 p.m. So it's a shorter event. Okay, now how many hours? Now this is very interesting. You guys have to really pay attention to this, into how we're going to do this. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to subtract how many hours. So between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. there's 4-hour difference. So we're going to click on this one minus this one. So the big number, or the later number, minus the earlier number. Okay, we're going to hit it like this, and it's going to give us a time. We don't want that. What we want is numbers. So we click on this thing, and we hit on number. It's going to give me a 0.17. That's very weird. 0.17 is not the amount of hours. Okay, but this is considering that the day has 24 hours. So this is 0.17, okay, of 24 hours. So, excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate in parentheses and multiply by 24. Let's see what happens. 4. We've got 4 hours. The event is 4 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this all the way down. We're going to paste it in all 4 of them. So the first day lasts 4 hours, second day 6 hours, third day 7 hours, Saturday, it goes for 7 hours and 4 hours. I'm going to change this just to make it more interesting. I'm going to change this thing to 1830. So that's 7 hours. Every day has a different amount of hours. And this one goes on until 2:30. Let's see, 30. It goes on for 4.5 hours. Okay? Now, for this one, our capacity, okay, is of, let's say, 12 people. I'm going to add a note here. Okay? Our capacity, I'm going to do it like this. Our capacity is of 12 people per hour. Okay, 12 people per hour. So let's see. Now, this is a comment. If we hover over it, it's going to appear. Okay, right there. So it's 12 people. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hit equal 12 multiplied by 4, or by this cell. We're going to hit enter, and it's 48 people. So the capacity is 48, 72, 84, 96, and 54. That's how many people I can fit into the event. Now let's see how many people visited me. Let's separate it into different types of people. Okay, the different types of people we're going to show are just basically 3. Children, okay, women, and men. All right, and right here we're going to put the total. Okay, so here I'm going to do this one, plus this one, plus this one. So I'm going to see how much that is, and I'm going to copy this all the way down. Like this. So right now it's 0. Let's say that we have, the first day we have 12 children, 34 women, and 12 men. So we have a total of 58. Okay. How many people were we over our limit? Over limit. Okay. Let's see how many people were over limit. Let's see. Over limit, we're going to take this one and subtract the capacity. Okay, again, this one, subtract the capacity like this. Let's see. So we're 10 people over limit. We have a problem because we cannot accept that many people. Let's see the next day, 24, 25, and 25. We're at 74. We're going to check on this one. Okay, we're 2 people over limit. Okay, we're 2 people over limit. Let's see what we've got. Okay, over here, let's not use this yet. 34, 12, and 26. 72. Okay, we're under 12 people, which means that we could still fit 12 more people into this event. Okay, for this one, let's say 45, 40, and 37. Let's see what we do. It's 122 people, so we're over the limit 26. We're over the limit with a lot of people. This might be a problem. Okay, this one 12, this one 20, and this one 18. Let's see what we've got. Over the limit. Okay, we can still fit 4 more people that we are over the limit. Okay, now for the next part, I want to calculate how much each ticket costs per hour. But before that, I'm going to determine the internal cost. Now, remember that this is an event. Okay, this is an event that I am organizing, and it's very costly and it's very difficult to organize an event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the amount of hours, but each hour costs me, let's say that, let me think. Each hour costs me, I'm thinking. Let's say 1,100 pesos each hour. That's how much it costs me to generate the event. Okay, so 1,100 pesos. Okay, and that's per hour. And we click here on the hours. Okay, and this is how it costs me to generate the event that day. Okay, but I want this to be in a monetary format. So I go here to Format Cells. I click on currency, and right here, I'm going to click on Spanish Mexican peso. Okay, like this. Okay, this is how much it costs me. Okay, let's see in the second one, 6,600, 7,000, 8,000, and 4,950. Okay, now how much should I charge per hour? Ticket per hour. Per hour, if the event is 4 hours, let's say that the event is 125. No, let's do smaller. Let's do, it's too expensive. $28 per hour. That's how much it costs the ticket. Okay, but you can, of course, buy a whole day ticket. You cannot just buy, part of a ticket. So 28 pesos, right? For the next one, the next day, it's a little bit less expensive. Let's say that it's 27.5 pesos the next day. The next day is 26.75 pesos. Okay, the next day is 25.5 pesos, and the last one is just simply, let's call it 21.25 pesos. It's the least expensive. Okay, so the ticket for this day is ticket per day. The ticket for this day costs this one multiplied by the amount of hours. This one multiplied by the amount of hours that day. So the ticket per day for the first day, this is how much you're going to charge people to attend. 112 pesos. Okay, 165, 187, 204, and 95 pesos. Saturday is the most expensive day, right? It's the most expensive day to do it. And finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is the revenue. The revenue is how much money you make after cost. Okay? That's it. That's what it is. Okay, so the revenue, we're going to do it like this. Let's see. I forgot one thing. Before the revenue, the income per day. Income per day. How much money am I making? The income per day. So I'm going to multiply the amount of people that visited, the 58 people, multiplied by the cost of the ticket. Okay, so I'm going to hit on that. Going to hit enter. So this day, there were 6,496 pesos that came into the event. Okay, 12,200, 13,400, 24,000, and finally 4,000. Okay, that's how much income we had per day. Okay, now let's talk about the revenue. The revenue is the amount of money after the cost, after the expenses. Okay, so let's talk about the revenue. Let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to subtract the income per day minus the cost, minus the internal cost. So the income, which is this one, minus the internal cost, this one. There we go. So that day we made a total of 2,096 pesos. The second day we made 5,600 pesos, 610 pesos. This one on Friday we made 5,782 pesos. And then on Saturday we made a lot more money. Let's expand this. Let's expand it. We made 16,088 pesos. And on the last day we lost money. Okay, so for this one, let's see what our total is. Let's see how much money we made. Okay, so we're going to add this one plus this one plus this one plus this one plus this one. So we made a total of 29,407 pesos. Average per day, how much money came in per day? Okay, we had a total of 5 days. So we're going to grab this one and divide it by 5. So 5,881 pesos and 45 cents. That's how much money we made. Okay, that's how much money we made per day. All right. Now, another important thing that I want you to see is that if you change these values, everything else is going to change. I want you to observe. Let's say that instead of 12 women, or 26 men, we had a total of 13 men. So the money became less, right? Because we need more money. This is our objective, for this to be in zero. Okay, I'm going to put more people in. 16. Let's see, 20. Right? So now it's increasing how much money we need. Now in this one we're over 10 over the limit. Let's see if we change this. See if we change this. We're gonna take a few women off. Let's go for 24. Well, let's do 23. Okay. In this one we're 2 people over. Let's go to 24 and 24. Let's do this one, 18. And as you can see, all the numbers are moving. That's the objective that I wanted you to see, that all the numbers are moving because they are all connected. Okay? Right? So this is easy. This is actually a very simple exercise in which you can practice all of your arithmetic and know exactly what's going on. Okay. For this one, we're going to call it just the event. Okay. And remember to let me know if you have any questions. Leave it here in the comments or send me a direct message. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.